Welcome back to the Euro 2012 preview presented by ArsenalBlogger.com. This is the final video where we do all our big predictions for the tournament as a whole. So without further ado, let's start with we'll do the winners and stuff last.
Yep.
So who do you think is going to be the emerging young talent? Maybe one or two players that you think will
Emerging young talents. I've picked mainly one. I think it'll be Mario Götze.
Yep.
German player.
Yeah.
He's only 20 years old, but there's been massive raving about him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of raving fans out there about Mario Götze, about his performances in Borussia Dortmund, and his potential as a player. He's considered to be one of Germany's greatest players, already. In terms of just pure talent. So that's a high rating, and this could be which I think will be a tournament where he will showcase his skills to the world.
Yep.
And he'll be rise. It'll be the first time where he'll actually be seeing a genuine superstar again. So I really can't wait to see him in the tournament, and I think he will shine through for Germany.
It's his first tournament. As an established German player, and that's why I've put him down as well as one of the going to be the emerging young talent. Excuse me. So Joachim Löw has already said he's a starting player, and he's going to be one of the most talented players. Everyone's saying how talented he is. So really can't wait to see him. And I've also got down here. We've already listed all the reasons why Götze will be the emerging young talent. I've also put in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in there. He's been picked in the squad, and look, he won't start most games, but I think he'll provide what England need as an impact player, someone who can make a difference. He's had an amazing season at Arsenal, a 17-18-year-old kid. He might not set the world alight this, but you will notice him. I think that there'll be times where he can make a difference. And look, it's up to Roy Hodgson if he wants to use him, but I think he'll be stupid not to. But with Götze, it's much more obvious. He will be playing, will be starting, and I think it's a safe bet. He'll be the emerging young. But also watch out for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's one to watch out.
Okay, all right, good. Let's move on to the biggest chokers in this tournament.
Yep.
Which team do you think is gonna underperform?
I think so. I said Croatia will get ahead of Italy in Group C. So naturally, that means Italy, one of the heavyweights, will be knocked out, and they'll be the biggest chokers. They're going through transition, and I think Croatia knows that. I think in that group, Ireland will also be a spanner in the works for them. And Balotelli is a big question mark. De Rossi is injured. It's not De Rossi, just Rossi. Giuseppe Rossi. He's injured. He's not there, and they're having problems in the striking department. Cassano's doing well, but I think they're in a bit of transition, and it's a bit of a dangerous group for them with Croatia in there. And Croatia's you don't know what you're going to get from them, but I get the feeling that they're going to get through. So Italy, a biggest choker, and Portugal, I wouldn't say biggest choker. I mean, there is a group of death. Someone's got to go out. I think Portugal against Germany and Netherlands will just miss out. They'll be relying on Ronaldo too much. And I think Germany and Netherlands are a much better balanced team, and they'll get through. So
I also said Portugal, but it's hard to call them chokers because they're in a tough group anyway. If they don't get out of the group, they can easily say that we were in a tough group, and that's why we couldn't make it through. So it wasn't really a choke. Another potential team to be choking, England. England getting on the group stage. I mean, what I mean is that they won't get out of the group stage. They will lose to Sweden, lose to France, and then that's it. It's over. They're out of the tournament because they could lose to France, they could lose to Sweden. Especially the history between both teams.
Between England and Sweden.
So that's
England never having beaten Sweden in a competitive fixture.
And that could be enough to eliminate them from the competition. So England could be, and also actually I put France as well. I mean, both those teams, you never know, they could choke.
It's a bit strange. Can you define it as a choke if people don't expect them to do well? But they do, what they don't. You know, so it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so those are my checkers in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, okay. So, but you're not too sure because you did say that France and England would get through, but
I did. But I think those two have the greatest potential to choke.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt about that. So okay, interesting. So
and given the history of major tournaments, nothing ever goes to plan, and I wouldn't surprise one of these two choke.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. Let's move on to maybe a surprise team for you.
Surprise teams. My surprise team is actually Italy to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a big surprise, but it's a surprise in the sense.
It is a little bit.
It's a surprise in the sense that not many people are expecting Italy to do so well, especially after South Africa 2 years ago.
Well, we're not going to win the whole thing, according to you're not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but you're going to say they're going to deep into the tournament.
Well, yeah, they're going to go really deep, and they could win a tournament. I'm not saying my prediction is that they win the semis and that's it, but they could actually win the tournament because they got the talent there. I think they're building really well. They're playing really well.
And they'll sort of surprise everyone after what they've done recently.
Yep.
All the chokes that they've had, that they're going to come back and be stronger than ever. Yeah.
Yep. The other thing as well, the other surprise teams you can say, potentially surprise teams, Poland, Ukraine. Poland has a reasonably good chance of getting out of the group, advance to the quarterfinals. So I guess it can't be a surprise maybe. And Ukraine as well has got some chance of getting out of the group as well.
The group with France and England so unstable, there's always a chance.
Yeah, so those are my surprise teams. What yourself?
I've only got here Croatia, it's the only one, in Group C. I believe they can do it over Italy and go through with Spain in that group, go to the quarterfinals, and you never know. I mean, if they're coming up against France or England in the quarterfinals, France and England that's down on confidence, we could make the semis. You know, it's not out of the question. So I think Croatia will surprise a couple of people and get through that tough group with Spain and Italy, and then there's a real opportunity there for them to really have a go at France or England and really push for a semi-final spot. And they've done it in the past. They've gone deep into tournaments, and they've surprised people. So I think they'll surprise people again.
Okay, interesting. All right then. So what about? Let's move on to the category of top scorer. Who will win the Golden Boot?
Mario Gomez, Germany. So I had a look at a lot of the big teams, and you look at Spain. There's no out-and-out striker because of Villa being out. Torres questionable. England with Rooney, even if they are in good form, you don't even know that. But Rooney's out, so that's completely out of the question. You look at France, you're not really sure what's going to happen there. Netherlands, maybe. I was tempted to pick Van Persie. I'm not sure. But overall, Mario Gomez, out and out striker. He's going to bang in the goals. He's going to get in there. Germany's going to do very well in this tournament, and he will definitely be amongst the goals. And then he's, I think, the best bet for the Golden Boot. Only question is I've always had this problem. I always pick the wrong striker. In the last two, I predicted Fernando Torres to be the top scorer for World Cup 2010 and Euro 2008, but it was the other guy, David Villa. So now I'm scared that I pick Mario Gomez and it's going to be Miroslav Klose. I don't know what Rocky Blow's going to do, but I'm going to stick with Mario Gomez. And see.
How many goals do you think he's going to score?
6.
6 goals.
6 goals.
Yeah. I picked Robert Van Persie. I think Robert Van Persie. I think even if Dutch only make the semis, I think he will score enough goals anyway by then to actually win the Golden Boot, even though they might not win the whole tournament. Judging by recent form and players go around him, he can be capable.
Definitely a good choice. That's a good bet. Yeah.
So Robert Van Persie is my choice for top scorer.
That's right.
Not sure how many goals, but maybe 10 goals.
10 goals, eh? I'm not sure about 10 goals.
He's got 2 hat-tricks, 2 braces, something like that.
That's it, you know?
He's there.
Yeah.
So
and then he signs a contract for Arsenal, you know? You just keep going with these with these predictions.
Yeah. Alright, next topic. The Whipping Boys, the tournament.
Which